Good morning, children. Here I am once again with the same lesson of 9th standard chemistry, matter in our surrounding. Yesterday we had started with this lesson. I had done with the particle nature of the solid, liquid and the gases. How the particles are arranged and what happens when the kinetic energy of the particle increases. Now today we will see about the different states of matter. States of matter. There are three states of matter. States, what do you mean by states? States is nothing but the matter in which condition it exists. So the three states of matter are solid, liquid and third one is the gaseous state, or you can write gases. The three states of matter are solid, liquid and the gases. So these three states of matter can be interconverted. How they can be interconverted? By increasing the temperature. When you increase the temperature. When you increase the temperature, solid can be converted into liquid. Liquid can be converted into gas. When you increase the temperature, what happens? Yesterday itself we had discussed about the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy of the particle increases. The movement of the particles increases. So when this movement of the particle increases, heat is liberated. With that heat, there is conversion of one state into another state. So with the increase in the temperature, the kinetic energy of the molecules or the particles in each state will increase. Because of that increase in the kinetic energy, there is conversion of the one state into another state. So now we'll study about the solids when they are heated. The first one, solids. Solids when heated, when they are heated, they change into liquid. So you are taking a beaker in which you are placing some ice cubes. You are placing some ice cubes. And you start heating the beaker. So when you start heating the beaker, obviously what will happen? You will see the ice cubes melt. You are even inserting a thermometer. Okay, this is the setup with the beaker, ice in it. And this thing, the thermometer is attached to the stand, and this is inserted inside the beaker containing the ice. So you are recording the initial temperature. It is 0 degree. Okay. So what is that? When you heat the ice cubes starts melting. They change into water. So what happens then? You cannot see any rise in the temperature. So when you heat something, it has to become hot, but it is not the thing here. What is happening when you heat the ice cubes? There is no rise in temperature until all the ice cubes melt into water. Then only you can see there is rise in the temperature. So where this heat has gone, okay, where this heat has escaped when you are heating, then the ice is not becoming hot. Neither the beaker is becoming hot. So where this heat has gone, this is the hidden heat what we say. This heat is utilized in changing the state of matter from solid to liquid without increase in temperature. There is no increase in temperature. At its constant temperature, at 0 degrees Celsius only, what happens? This heat is used. It is utilized by the particles of the ice to get converted into liquid form. So this is the hidden heat, latent heat we say. So we say this heat as the latent heat of fusion. Fusion is nothing but melting. Fusion is nothing but melting. What is melting? Melting is nothing but it is a process in which the solid changes into liquid. This and all you all have learned in your lower classes: melting, fusion, condensation, evaporation. All these processes, physical processes, you all have learned in your lower classes. Fusion is nothing but melting. So melting is the process at which the solids turn into liquid at constant temperature. So that is known as fusion. So latent heat, latent means what? Hidden. Okay, hidden means here it is not recorded in the thermometer. The temperature is not recorded in the thermometer. Though you are heating, it is being not seen in the thermometer. There is no rise in the temperature. So that is the latent heat or the hidden heat. That heat is used to melt the ice cubes. It is not used to increase the temperature. Ice cubes will never become warm. They don't start boiling also. So they are not for you. What for that heat is used? That heat is used only to melt the ice cubes, to change the state of matter, whether to solid to liquid or liquid to gas. So that heat is not recorded in the thermometer. That heat is known as the latent heat of fusion or the melting. So how will you define the latent heat of fusion? Latent heat of fusion is the amount of How will you define the latent heat? It is the amount of heat energy required amount of heat energy required to change 1 kg of ice or anything which is solid to liquid state at 0 degree Celsius. You have to mention this temperature at constant temperature. Okay, at its melting point also you can say melting point of ice is 0 degree Celsius. At constant temperature, the amount of heat what you are giving or the amount of heat which is being utilized to change 1 kg of ice to liquid state is known as latent heat of fusion. So latent heat is nothing but the hidden heat. Latent heat never results in the rise in temperature. It always results in change of state from solid to liquid state. So that is known as the latent heat of fusion. So in this way you can define latent heat of vaporization. The same thing. Vaporization. Latent heat of vaporization. Vapors. Vaporization means what? What do you mean by vaporization? It is a process in which liquids get converted to gas. Liquids get converted to gas. Okay, so vaporization is a process in which the liquids get converted to gas. So latent heat of vaporization means it is the amount of heat energy required to change 1 kg of water. 1 kg of water. Water is obviously it is liquid state only. 1 kg of water to vapor state. At what is the boiling point of water? 100 degree Celsius. So this is what when you are heating water. Okay, you heat water. This is the water. You are taking water in the beaker. You are heating the water. At the same time, you are attaching the thermometer. Okay, you are attaching the thermometer. You are inserting the thermometer in the beaker containing water. So when you are heating water, what will happen? The water will become warm. It will become warm. It starts boiling after some time. And when it is becoming warm, when it is boiling, the temperature will rise now. Here it is rising. The temperature rises. Okay, when it starts boiling, when it reaches the boiling point, you record the temperature. It will be some some 100 degree Celsius. At 100 degree Celsius, when water is boiling, you have to note down the temperature. The water boils at 100 degree Celsius. Okay, you have to note down the reading. Still you are boiling. After the water starts boiling, again you are continuing the water to boil. Okay, the water is boiling and it is vaporizing. It is changing into gaseous state. Steam is coming out from the water. But there is no change in the melting temperature. There is no increase in the temperature in the thermometer. Do you understand? After the water is boiling also, you are continuing to heat. You didn't stop heating. You are still continuing. After the water is boiling, the vapors are coming out. The water is boiling. But still you are continuing to heat. But the temperature doesn't change here. Why the temperature doesn't change? Why it is not increasing? It has to increase because you are heating more still. But the temperature doesn't change. Why it doesn't change? Because that extra heat what you are applying or giving is used to change the water into water vapor, not to increase the temperature. And all of the water changes into water vapor, the boiling point will be the same. The temperature will be fixed. It will not increase. So that is what, this is the latent heat of vaporization. Latent heat of vaporization is what? It is the amount of heat energy required to change 1 kg of water to vapor state at 100 degree Celsius. When you heat the water, temperature will rise, but it will stop at 100 degree Celsius only. After that, if you still continue to boil, the temperature will not increase. It is because whatever the heat you are applying or supplying to this boiling water, it is used to change the state of water without increase in the temperature. At constant temperature, the heat is used up to change only the state of matter. That is from liquid to gas. That is the latent heat of vaporization. It is the amount of heat energy required to change 1 kg of water to vapor state at 100 degree Celsius. There is no rise in temperature even after water starts boiling. Even after you are giving the extra heat to the water, the heat is required only just to change the state of matter without changing the temperature. So that is known as the latent heat of vaporization. So now we will see the effect of temperature. The effect of temperature. So effect of temperature on the states of matter. Solid, when you heat, it becomes liquid. Liquid, when you heat, it becomes gas. Gas, when you cool, it becomes liquid. Liquid, when you cool, it becomes solid. That is the interconversion of states of matter. When you increase the temperature, when you are increasing the temperature, solid changes to liquid, liquid changes to gas. When you are decreasing the temperature, when gases are cooled, they become liquid. When liquid is cooled, it becomes solid. So it depends on the temperature. Okay, when you are increasing the temperature, what state you are getting, and vice versa is achieved. Vice versa is achieved when you decrease the temperature. So that was about the effect of temperature. The effect of change of pressure. When you put pressure. Yesterday also I had explained about the compressibility. Solids cannot be compressed. Okay, because already the molecules in the solid, the particles in the solid are tightly, compactly arranged, which cannot be compressed. There is no space between those particles. For example, in gases, liquids can be compressed to some extent, but not that much. Gases can be compressed more easily because there are more intermolecular space between the gaseous particles. For example, you all might have seen the syringes. You all might be playing with the syringes. Okay, just when you put pressure on the piston of this thing, tube of the syringe, you can easily compress it. Why? Because the air inside the piston, the air inside the tube or the cylinder of the syringe get compressed when you put pressure. So gases can be compressed when gases are compressed, when pressure is put on the gases and when the temperature is lowered, okay, and when they are cooled, and when the temperature is lowered, is decreased, you can say, when the temperature is decreased, they change into liquids. When you put pressure on the gas, when you increase the pressure on the gas, and when you decrease the temperature, what happens? The gases will change into liquids. That is the anomalous case in the case of gases, not in case of solids or the liquids, because gases can be compressed to a higher extent. Okay. In the CNG cylinders and all, LPG cylinders and all. Once again, I am giving the example of that what I had said yesterday. So in LPG cylinder, liquefied petroleum gas. Okay, that petroleum gas, what is that? That is being compressed in the cylinders and it is changed into liquid state. It is changed into liquid state. So the fuel which is stored in our cylinders in our house, that is in liquid state. It is liquid. It is natural. It is liquid one. But when it comes for the use, when we are using it, it becomes a gas. Because the pressure is decreasing, when it is coming out, the pressure decreases. When the pressure decreases, what happens? The liquid will change into gaseous state, and the gas which is coming out, that is LPG gas, what is coming out, we are using and we are burning it to get heat. Okay, so that is the example. So solid carbon dioxide is stored under high pressure and can be compressed directly to gaseous, can be converted directly to gaseous state and on decrease of pressure to 1 atmospheric without coming into liquid state. Solid carbon dioxide, it is stored under high pressure, and when you decrease the pressure directly, when you are decreasing the pressure, it is not changing into liquid state, directly changing into gaseous state. So that is the unique behavior of this thing. Applying pressure and reducing temperature can liquefy gases. So what is the point in this? Gases can be compressed. Compressed means what? When you apply pressure on the gases and when the temperature is decreased, they can be changed into liquid. Gases can be changed to liquid when you apply pressure and the temperature is decreased. Okay. So here we can see solids, liquids, gas, solids can be converted to liquid by fusion, by melting. Solids can be converted to liquid by melting. Liquids can be converted to solid by freezing. Freezing. Liquids can be converted to solid by freezing. Liquids can be converted to gas by vaporization. Vaporization. Gases can be converted to liquid by condensation. These all physical processes you have learned already. What is fusion, freezing, vaporization, condensation. Right from 6th standard or 5th standard you are learning all these processes. Solids can be, gases can be, solid can be converted to gas by sublimation. In the same way, gases can be converted to solid again by sublimation. Both the processes are same. What is sublimation? Sublimation is the process in which the solid state of matter changes into gaseous state of matter without undergoing liquid state. There is no conversion of liquid state here. Directly solid gets converted into gaseous state. Gaseous state gets directly converted to solid state. That is also known as sublimation. Evaporation. What is evaporation? Next process is evaporation. Evaporation. Evaporation is nothing but the process in which the liquid state gets converted to vapor state or gaseous state at any temperature. There is no fixed temperature point during evaporation. For example, water. Water is always evaporating from the surface of the water bodies. There is no fixed temperature for the evaporation of water. For example, boiling also. In boiling also what is happening? Boiling is a process in which water is, or vaporization. Evaporation and vaporization seems the same. There is same change in the state of matter. But vaporization takes place only at fixed temperature, that is 100 degrees Celsius. But evaporation doesn't take place at fixed temperature. It can take place at any temperature. There is no fixed temperature control during evaporation. You can see on the earth's surface water vapor is evaporating. Wherever water is there, it starts evaporating. Okay, there is no, the temperature may be varying throughout the day, throughout the months, throughout the year. The temperature may be not same. But at that varying temperature also, slowly the water will be evaporating. Not so soon. The water is evaporating very slowly from the earth's surface. It is changing from liquid state to vapor state at any temperature. That is known as evaporation. Is it clear? Evaporation is the case of liquid with small fraction of particles. So evaporation takes place only from the surface of the water body. So if this is the beaker I have taken filled with water, this is the beaker which is filled with water. Evaporation takes place from the surface, the outer surface, the particles of the water which are exposed to the air. The particles of the water which are exposed to the atmosphere, they absorb the heat energy from that. No need of boiling here. We are not boiling. It is not vaporization. For vaporization we are boiling. But in case of evaporation, the surrounding heat is being absorbed. Evaporation takes place because of absorption of heat only. But from where that heat is coming? This outer molecules of water take the heat from the surrounding, from the air. From here only they will absorb the heat. From the air they will absorb the heat. Their kinetic energy increases more than these particles. These particles of water. These are the particles of water at the surface. They absorb heat energy from the outer surface and they start vibrating more and more. And they, as their vibration increases, they change into vapor state and they escape from the container. Okay, here that much kinetic energy is not there. Only on the surface the particles start vibrating more with the increase in the kinetic energy, and these particles only slowly they get converted into vapor state and they causes evaporation. Evaporation is a surface phenomenon, whereas boiling takes place everywhere. When you are boiling the water in a beaker, you see only the surface molecules, surface water molecules are moving. No, the whole water molecules will be moving up and down. It goes up, it comes down. It goes up, it comes down. That is the convection current is taking place in the whole beaker, in the whole water that boiling process is taking. But evaporation is not like that. Evaporation takes place only on the surface of the water. Boiling takes place all along the water, all along the container. All the water molecules, how many water molecules are present, those many water particles will be moving up and down due to convection current. But here no, only this molecules which are present at that surface, which are exposed to the air, they only absorb the heat energy, they only increases their kinetic energy, and they only get evaporated. That is the difference between evaporation and boiling. Boiling, we are heating. Here boiling takes place at fixed temperature, but evaporation doesn't take place at fixed temperature. It can take place at any temperature. Evaporation is a surface phenomenon. Boiling is not the surface phenomenon. Boiling takes place all over the water molecules, everywhere in the water. But here only evaporation takes place at the surface. So that is about the evaporation. Even for the evaporation also, there we need to apply heat. That is, naturally the water is absorbing the heat from the atmosphere. We are not heating or we are not boiling. Water is absorbing heat from the surrounding and it is getting changed into water vapor. That is known as evaporation. Evaporation is the process in which liquid state gets converted to vapor state at any temperature without any fixed temperature. Below its boiling point. Okay, we have to mention here what temperature it is below its boiling point. When the water is evaporating, here, water doesn't boil. Have you all seen water which is just when you throw on the floor, after some time you see it gets evaporated. After 2 hours when you come, water will not be there. Have you all seen, if you look carefully, if you are continuously seeing that when it is evaporating, is it boiling? No, it will never boil. Simply it will take little heat from the surrounding and it changes into water. It will never boil. Below its boiling point only, it is changing into liquid or gaseous state, that is known as evaporation. So at its boiling point, water, the process in which the liquid state gets converted to vapor state, at its boiling point, then it becomes boiling. It becomes vaporization. Vaporization is at boiling point. Evaporation is below boiling point. Did you understand the difference? Now what causes? You must have observed that the rate of evaporation increases. How? How this rate of evaporation will increase? Rate of evaporation, what is rate? Rate of evaporation is nothing but how much water is evaporating at a particular time, maybe in 1 second, 2 seconds, or in 1 hour, in 2 hours, how much water is evaporating. Rate is always considered with time. Okay, when you consider any process with the time, any process which is considered with the time, in this much, in 1 hour, this much of water has evaporated, that is known as rate of evaporation. Did you understand? So time, when you consider time with the evaporation, then that is known as rate of evaporation. So what are the factors which will increase the rate of evaporation or which will decrease the rate of evaporation? For example, the first one is the increase in the surface area. Surface area. surface area increases, evaporation also increases. When large amount of surface area is there, then evaporation will take place very fast and cooling will take place very soon. Cools fast. For example, when you are drinking tea in a tumbler, glass tumbler, it will be very hot. You have to wait for a longer time. If you are in a hurry, if you want to drink your tea fast, what you will do? The same tea you will put in the saucer or in a wide this thing. And what you will do, it will become cool very fast and you are able to drink it very soon. So why did you pour that in the saucer? Just to increase the surface area. In the glass tumbler, this is the glass tumbler. In this cup, the surface area, this is the surface area. The small surface area is there. Very little particles are getting evaporated. But the same thing, when you put in the saucer, you see the surface area is so big here. Many molecules will evaporate so soon. They will get the heat energy and they will evaporate very soon. Okay, so when they are evaporating very soon, what will happen? It will become cool very soon and you are able to drink the tea or the hot liquids in no time. Okay, so when you increase the surface area, evaporation will be very soon and you can make the liquids cool. So one of the effect of evaporation is evaporation leads to cooling. It leads to cooling. One of the effect of evaporation is what? Whenever there is evaporation, there is cooling sensation. There is cooling in the surrounding. Okay, so here I told you, as the evaporation is more, the tea is becoming cool and you are able to drink. So one of the effect of evaporation, as the evaporation increases, there is cooling. For example, how to show that example? Nail polish remover. You use nail polish remover to remove your nail polishes. When you put nail polish remover on your backside of your palm, okay, it gets evaporated. As it is evaporating, you see you will be having some cooling sensation. Have you noticed that? Why it is giving you cooling sensation? Because it is evaporating. It is taking the heat from your body to evaporate. From where it is getting the heat? It is taking the heat from your body. It is evaporating, and because the heat is taken out from your body, what is happening? That area you will feel cool. So wherever there is evaporation, what is happening? It is leading to cooling. There is decrease in temperature. So always you keep in mind, whenever there is evaporation, there is cooling. Did you understand? So here also, the surface area increases, evaporation also increases. The next factor what is affecting the evaporation is the increase of temperature. More number of particles get enough kinetic energy to get into vapor state and decreasing. So when you are heating, okay, the surface area is also one of the factor which affects the rate of evaporation. Heating also. If you heat, what will happen? The rate of evaporation increases. Okay, without heating, evaporation is taking place. No doubt evaporation is taking place without heating. It is taking place slowly. But when you heat, what will happen? Evaporation will take place very fast. Heating, with heating, evaporation increases. So another factor is what? Heating. First factor is surface area. Another factor is heating. When there is heating, the evaporation increases. The third one is what? Third factor is humidity. Humidity. What is humidity? Humidity is nothing but the amount of water vapor present in the air. Sometimes the air will be dry. Sometimes the air will be humid. In summer season, evaporation is taking place very fast because there is hot. The temperature is very high. Because of high temperature, evaporation takes place very hot. There is moisture in the air. Okay, the hot air is humid because more water is present in the air. If humidity increases, if already more amount of water vapors are present in the air, then what will happen? Evaporation will decrease. If humidity increases, evaporation decreases. Evaporation decreases. Why it decreases? Because already there is large amount of water vapor in the air. Air cannot hold more water vapor. Again it cannot hold more water vapor. That's why evaporation will decrease. There will be not much evaporation. But when humidity, this is vice versa. When humidity decreases, evaporation increases. Evaporation decreases. In winter season, the atmosphere is not so hot. Okay, humidity is less. Air is dry. Air is not saturated with water molecules. So more evaporation will take place. So it is going in a indirect way. Vice versa. Humidity increases, evaporation decreases. When humidity decreases, evaporation increases. Evaporation increases. Humidity is nothing but the amount of water vapor present in the air. Air what we are breathing, the air what is around us, it's not dry air. It is laden with moisture. Water vapor is present in that air. So that water vapor which is present in the air, that air is known as humid. The process is humidity. Did you understand? So if already water vapor is present in the air, evaporation cannot take place that much because water is there already present in the air. Evaporation decreases. So next is wind. If wind is higher, evaporation is faster. If there is wind, what happens? That blow of the wind, the movement of the wind takes away the water vapor from the surface of the water. It drives away the outer surface of outer particles of the water and the evaporation enhances. Okay, you are in washing machine. The best example is washing machine. How the clothes are drying in washing machine? They are not drying because of the heat energy. As you usually dry. Commonly what we do after washing clothes, we will keep it for drying in the sun. Their heat energy is evaporating the water molecules from the clothes. But in washing machines and all, we are getting the dried clothes only. Nicely it is dried. Okay, only half an hour if you sun dry it, it will be dried. In washing machine what is happening? The clothes are spinning. After washing, the clothes are spinning in the washing machine. There is movement. When there is movement, what is happening? The water molecules are coming out. The water molecules are coming out from the clothes and they become dry. Here also, if there is movement in the air, if air is moving, movement in air is nothing but wind. Moving air is nothing but wind. When wind is moving, it will take the water molecules and evaporation will be more. So that is the effect of wind. If wind is more, the rate of wind is, if wind is higher, evaporation will be higher. If there is no wind, there is no evaporation. Evaporation will be slow. Evaporation will be there all the time. Whether heating is there, whether the wind is there, or whether the humidity is there or more, whether the surface area is less or more, always there will be evaporation. Evaporation is going on. But if there is increase or decrease in these factors, there is even increase and decrease in the rate of evaporation. If the wind is blowing at a faster rate, the evaporation is also faster because the blowing wind will take away the outer water particles from the surface and make the surface dry. So these are the factors which affect the evaporation. Evaporation causes cooling. I said one of the effect of evaporation is what? Evaporation leads to cooling. So for example, what did I say? Acetone or kerosene also, if you put on your hand and wait for some time, it will get evaporated. Okay, and it will give you cooling sensation. Have you stored water in the earthen pots? New earthen pots. Earthen pots, they will be having, earthen pots means the pots which are made up of clay. Earthen pots, they will be new earthen pots, they will be having small minute particles all over their body. Earthen pots are the pots which are made up of clay. We store water in earthen pots. Why? Because it gets cooled. Water becomes cool in the earthen pots, in the clay pots, mud pots. Mud pot, what you say commonly. In this pot, small pores are there. Okay, small pores, openings, holes are there all over the earthen pot. New pot, when you say new pot, which will be always leaking. So what is happening in this? The air is entering through these pores. The water molecules, they are absorbing the heat from these pores. The water molecules are absorbing heat from these pores and they become cool. Evaporation is taking place more and the water molecules are cooling down. Okay, they become cool very soon. So the rate of evaporation is increasing because of the air which is coming inside through these pores. These pores help in circulation of air. They help in absorption of air. Through these pores only what is happening? The water is absorbing more and more heat. It is changing to vapor and in turn what it is doing, when it is absorbing heat from the surrounding, in turn this water will become cool. The same thing, the same water you keep in plastic container, you see the water will not be cool. But in the new earthen pot and water will become cool because more evaporation is taking place. The air which is coming through the pores help with absorption. Through these pores the water is it is been absorbing the heat. It is absorbing the heat through these pores from the surrounding and it is becoming cool. Okay, that is one of the effect of evaporation. Even in summer you wear cotton clothes. Why we wear cotton clothes in summer? Because cotton absorbs. In summer you sweat more. There is more sweat because of excess of heat. So these cotton clothes absorb that sweat. When they absorb that sweat, it will be exposed. That sweat is exposed to the environment. That sweat absorbs the heat from the environment. They dry up. It dries up. It evaporates. When it evaporates, it leads to cooling. Cooling leads you feel cool. So not in any other clothes but cotton clothes. Because cotton clothes absorb most of the sweat and it makes that sweat exposed to the atmosphere. When the sweat is exposed to the atmosphere, it takes the heat from the atmosphere and maintains the temperature of your body. The sweat evaporates and it gives you the cooling sensation. Do you understand? And moreover, you see, in a glass tumbler, what is happening? You are taking ice. You have kept ice in the glass tumbler. Have you noted here the droplets of water here? How the droplets of water are there? How it has come, these droplets of water, how they have come on the sides of the tumbler? Because the air which is there here, it is moisture air. When it is in contact with the ice, it cools to become water. Okay, the vapor which is present in the water, the vapor which is present in this tumbler or the glass, it has cooled. Okay, when it has cooled, when this air has cooled, it has changed to water. Those water droplets are sticking to the tumbler. So that is the effect of evaporation. Evaporation leads to cooling. Whenever there is evaporation, there is cooling in the surrounding. So that was the end of your lesson. This chapter is over. 9th standard chemistry, matter in our surrounding. That is the end of the chapter. Hope so you have understood all the details of this content of this lesson. Wherever I have mentioned the points, I think you have noted down all the points. Very shortly I will be giving the notes, the photocopy of that notes. You can write it in your books. And I request all the parents, particularly I request all the parents to come and register your child name in the admission list and pay the admission fees, and even you can get your notebooks also after paying the notebook fees. log in soon.